Well, the Eagles got back in the win column last week, but their win over the Browns has raised some questions when it comes to the offense. Why doesn't Jalen Hurts target the middle of the field? What's up with the slow starts? The list goes on. Are the Birds winning despite of or because of Nick Sirianni? We could be hearing some take the points chants at the link today. With Christmas just around the corner, we're making a list, checking it twice, and it turns out most of the Eagles aren't naughty. They're nice. Do you like what I did there? My fingers are crossed. They can finally get it done at home. Maybe they were just waiting to play back at Citizens Bank Park. The Eagles got back in the win column last week, but there raised some questions when it comes to the offense. Why doesn't Jalen Hurts target the middle of the field? What? The list goes on. Let's go through the good and bad of game one in New York. Let's start with the good, though. Less than 3 to go in the first half. Knicks up by 5. Joel Embiid off the backboard makes the driving dunk to narrow the Knicks lead. The madness continues. We had a massive slate of exciting games from the women's Sweet 16 today, starting with LSU versus UCLA. Let's break this one down. Third quarter, LSU up by 2. London Jones drills a triple from the wing to put UCLA up by 1. Tomorrow night could also be a turning point in the MVP race conversation. Quarterbacks Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott are two of the top favorites going into this week. The Sixers say Joel Embiid underwent successful surgery on his injured left knee today and will be reevaluated in approximately 4 weeks. The procedure comes a week after the reigning MVP hurt his lateral meniscus in a loss to the Golden State Warriors last Tuesday. The Phillies look to start the season off with a sweep, breaking down Aaron Nola's first start of the season. Stellar starting pitching meets offensive powerhouse in Astros Cubs. To Citi Field, where the Phillies are preparing to face the Mets for the first time since New York knocked the Phils out of the playoffs in Game 4 of the NLDS last fall. Despite having the best record in the league at 10-1, despite hosting the 8-3 49ers at home, Vegas still thinks San Francisco's going to win. You know the feeling when you're young, you dream of growing up to be a professional baseball player. Well, one kid in St. Louis has some baseball dreams of his own, but they don't involve being a player. Energy, energy, energy. That was the messaging throughout this week. In order for this team to bounce back, guys like Saquon Barkley, guys like Landon Dickerson, they say they want to see more energy from the guys on the sideline. They want to see more want-to, more focus. They say execution fuels emotion. And Kobe Dean was telling me he was explaining the environment here in the postseason to some of the rookies like Jahad Campbell. He said it's like trying to describe an amusement park that they haven't been to before. They just have to go out there and experience it themselves. What an insane but incredible way to finish the game. What's going through your mind right now?
That was insane. Coming off that ending, so happy for Jordan Davis. Oh my God.
Now, all week you guys preached that this wasn't a revenge game. But now that you've won, how good does it feel?
It feels really good.
When I talked to you earlier this week, you described this young defensive unit with the Birds as hungry. You said that it's amazing to see them with their mentality after winning a Super Bowl come out and still be hungry for another one. How did you see that play out today on the field? Well, when you play in Buffalo, you should expect to play in the elements, and that's certainly what the Eagles are getting here today. Now, the good news is it's not freezing cold. As you can see, this is pouring rain. It was expected to be potentially freezing rain, just normal rain for now, but the winds are expected to increase as this game goes on. But I was talking to Jordan Davis. He told me he's excited to play in Buffalo for the first time in what is potentially one of the very last games to be played here at Highmark Park. And that is exactly where that gap in the link is. Jake Elliott was telling me it certainly affects his kicking. He much prefers to kick down here on this end where it's more enclosed. The wind isn't as much of a factor, but expect it to play a role in the Eagles' struggling offense in today's game. I mean, a completely dominant Lions offense. You led the charge in shutting them down, especially when it comes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. What was working for you throughout not just this game, but the Monday Night Football game less than a week ago?
Man, that pass rush, they get out there.
Cooper, you led the team in tackles in a really gritty defensive win. You came up big so many times. What do you take away from this win?
Shoot, I know it's hot. It's real hot.
What a defensive battle all 4 quarters. It felt like you were all over the field tonight. What was working for you defensively?
Just physicality. We knew we had to come in and be a physical team.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. That's one way to describe it. All right, well, thank you, Cooper. Go get dry. Guys, back to you.